Hey, and in this lesson, we are going to learn how to create an interactive assessment, a formative assessment. So instead of students taking a quiz and then waiting a few days to find out that they did poorly, they can be redirected and relearn in real time. So we're going to use a tool called Google Forms to create this and make it interactive where we can send them to some resources. I'm going to start by showing you some samples, and then I will demo how to do this. All right, you can, if you see a red star, that means a question is required. You can make certain questions required if you don't want students to skip them, but it's not necessary. I like to always put in their name. If you don't put their name, you may not know who has taken the quiz unless you all are a Google Apps for Education school, and then you can tell it to collect their email address, which would identify the student. But I always like to list their last name so I can put it in alphabetical order. And as a high school teacher, I like to choose the period. That way I can sort them by period and insert the grades in the grade book a lot easier. One thing to note is you can use images with Google Forms. So in here, since I teach web design, I have images for them. So I asked them, we were learning different design principles, one design principle being the F pattern design. So they're supposed to choose which website follows the F pattern design properly. If they choose incorrectly, so I'll choose website 1. Here's website 2, but if I choose website 1 and hit next, I have set this quiz up, if they get the answer incorrect, to take them to a page where they can relearn. So on this page, you can put text, you can put images, you can even put video. So if you have younger students and they would benefit from a video or audio, then that is what you would do so they can relearn. If they might be confused why they got sent to another page, you can always put at the top maybe something that says incorrect answer or try again, whatever you think would be most fitting for your students in your class. This part's not necessary, but if you want, at the bottom you can ask other questions. You know, after reading the information above, explain why website 1 was not the best example. So now I'm making sure that I understand where they're at with this. And then you can even ask them, do you understand now or do you need more clarification? And I can use this data later to see which students I need to work with further. At this point, it should take them on to the next question. And again, if they get the answer incorrect, it will pop them to, and this is the way I set this up, to a page with more information. So this is an example of a formative assessment that kind of redirects the kids and reteaches them instead of them thinking they got the answer correct. Now let's learn how to make this. To start, you're going to click New, go down to More, and then you're going to choose, not drawings, you're going to choose Google Forms. Once you're in here at the top, you just title your form, and then you can start adding questions. Not all of the question types will allow you to make the form interactive, but you can still add additional questions however you'd like. To add more questions, you choose the plus sign. To add additional text, images, or videos, you would click on these icons over here. So right now I would type a question, and then you've got answer choices. So let's say this is answer 1, answer 2. So let's say this was the wrong answer and this one was the correct answer. You wouldn't actually write right or wrong because you don't want your students to see that, but we can adjust the settings so that when the students are answering the questions, we can redirect them to a different place. And also here is where you choose the different question types. So one thing you might want to do is set up your quiz, and you're going to need different sections. So this is the button to add a section. So I just added a section. You can think of these as like pages. So anytime they get question 1 wrong, it's going to jump them to this page. And so I titled this page Extra Help for Question 1. Or maybe to simplify it, you might put question 1 extra help, or title it whatever makes sense to you. And this is where they're going to go to learn more. So in my first section up here, I would click these 3 little lines and I would say go to a section based on the answer. And now it's going to ask, well, what section do you want to go to? So I'm going to say we need to go to the question 1 extra help. Well, if they get the question right, I want them to go ahead and go on to the next question. So I'm going to go ahead and add another page, another section here. And this is going to be question 2 in this section, and then I'm going to add a question here. And then here's where you put your answers. Answer, and we could say maybe this is the right answer. Again, don't write that for your students. Answer wrong. And again, if I want to direct them to help, I'm going to have to make a section. So I'm going to title this section Question 2, Extra Help. So now let's go back up here to question 2. If they get the question wrong, I'm going to click the 3 little lines and say go to section based on answer. And I want it to go to question 2, extra help if they get it wrong. Now for my first question, when they get it right, I want to send them on to question 2. So here I have question 2. So if you title things properly, it makes it a lot easier. So if they get it wrong, they're going to go to question 1, extra help. If they get it right, they're going to go on to question 2. For question 2, if they get it wrong, they're going to go to, right here, question 2, extra help. And if they get it right, they need to go on to question 3. So now I need to go down here and add my question 3 section. So add another section. Let's call this question 3. Go ahead and add the question. Type question 3 here. So now go back up here to question 2. If they get question 2 right, I'm going to send them on to question 3. All right. And then you can also tell it where you want it to go for each section, but their answer should dictate that. If you have younger students that can't yet read, you have the option to add images instead of text for the answer, so you would just click this image icon. You can either take a snapshot of something. By URL means you go online, find a picture, and you copy the URL. I'll show you that right now. All right, first thing you're going to do is go to Google, search an image that you want to use. Once you click on that image, you want to view image, so view the full image. And again, I'm using Google Chrome, so you want to make sure that you're using the same browser. I'm going to go up here and click on the URL. You can then right-click and copy it. Head back to your quiz. And this is where by URL you would paste in that URL. And I might need to go choose a different image for that one. So if that happens to you and one of the images you're trying to use doesn't work out, just go and search for a different one. I just chose a different one, pasted the URL in, and it popped up. Then you would say select. So now I have an image that goes with that, and that'll be really helpful for our younger students. When you're all finished, over here on the far right there is a send button. You would click send, and this is the link that you would share with your students. Maybe post it on your website or on your Google Classroom, whatever learning management system you all may be using. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at calkesi@ius.edu.